We're popping in with something special, a behind the scenes look at the Fitgenes program. We know the terms like DNA, epigenetics, and nutrigenomics can feel new, maybe even a little intimidating. They can seem really complex and unfamiliar, and sometimes, yes, even a little scary. That's why we've created this mini-series to educate, reassure, and give you a clear picture of why we're so passionate about genetic testing, why we believe it should be accessible to everyone, and of course, what you'll find inside our Fitgenes program. So let's unlock access to the conversations you'll find inside the program. Enjoy today's episode of the Fitgenes series. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Aging Project and our Fitgenes program. This is so exciting for us to be able to bring this to each and every one of you because we feel this is a vital piece of the puzzle to aging well and longevity. Our genes are set in stone, but if we don't know what they are, how can we do anything to assist them with our lifestyle measures? So this is where our why comes in. Why the Aging Project has teamed with Fitgenes. So we can bring you a really simple, easy to digest program, platform, and report for you to know more about you. So here is where I bring in the fabulous Lindsay Kosh, our clinical nutritionist here at the Aging Project, to help break down our why and why knowing about our genes is so important. Linz, I know this is so close to your heart. I know it's something that you feel really deeply about and that has also made a huge impact on why you do what you do.
This is ultimately about preventative health, looking for things that you can do now so that you don't end up having chronic health conditions. So it's very, very exciting for people to go through this particular program.
You know, we've been talking about it for years on the Aging Project, and now I feel like we can really actually do something about it and for everybody. So here it is, our reason why our health span and our lifespan should match up perfectly and not be so disparative as it is right now in the world.
You know, I think so many people assume that by the time they get into their 50s that, oh, my health is going to deteriorate. I think if you were to talk to anyone, that's kind of this cultural acceptance. And I go, no, why does it have to be that way? We need to really gather up some information about our health so that we can have them basically line up and operate side by side.
So if we're just looking here at this little diagram, we really want that blue section, that good health disease free, to be so much longer than it is right there, and perhaps the little black one to not exist at all.
No, and it's crazy. If you actually look at the statistics there of, how long people live with a disease that disables them to live the life that they want to do. Men, they say it's 18.6 years. For women, 20.7 years. When you put it that way, you think, I don't want 20 years of my life to be suffering some kind of ill health condition. So, yeah, we're all about let's not have that happen.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next slide here, which shows us perhaps what it is that we might be suffering from in the future. If we can move to that, it explains that, at different age groups really show when that chronic condition kicks in. And as you say, to live for 20 years with one or more chronic illness, that's just not acceptable as far as I'm concerned.
No, I think if people were actually given the opportunity to look at the statistics and go, wait a minute, hold on, that doesn't sound good to me, they would be motivated to make change, which is why we're doing this program. But you can really see that things start to change kind of when you get into that sort of 45 to 64 year mark. This is where hormones start shifting for both men and women. Inflammation becomes a little bit of a driving factor for a lot of chronic health conditions. And it's the perfect time to really intervene. We should be focusing on our health our whole lifetime, but it tends to not be on our radar when our health is good when we're younger. So things will change when we get into our 40s. It's the perfect time to slow down this particular progression of chronic health disease.
So if you say we have perhaps 40 years of reasonable health, obviously there is going to be genetic conditions that may show up in people prior to that and chronic conditions that are affecting them early. But say you've had a relatively healthy life up until that point. Let's have a look at the things that are going to kick in, that obviously statistically this is where it's at. So if we take that men and women in that age bracket, 45 plus, there's some very common factors in there.
So we've got back pain problems and osteoarthritis, those as well as rheumatoid arthritis. That's where the niggly aches and pains start to pop up. They're definitely driven by inflammation. So you can really see a pattern here in these particular health problems that we need to try and control our inflammation so that we're not getting these sort of conditions. And of course, there is breast cancer for women and a little bit more anxiety disorders, which is actually neuroinflammation of the brain as well. So we need to pay attention.
So if we can keep those under wraps, hopefully, as we said in the beginning, that healthy blue line lasts a lot longer.
Absolutely. And once you get like doing the work when you're kind of in that stage is really important, because if you go over to that next category, looking at 65 to 84, the very common theme here is a lot of the cardiovascular disease. So we need to put some effort into halting some of these chronic inflammatory conditions.
We often talk about looking after our 10-year older self. And I guess this is the perfect start. If you know what your genetic makeup is and what's going to need the most help as you get older, it's a wonderful platform to build a really good program about what you can be doing to help yourself, which is the ultimate goal, to stay out of the healthcare system and to take control of our own health a lot more. I just can't believe that Fitgenes is available to us now. This is awesome news.
It is. It's so empowering.
So here we go. I mean, we look at this and we think, okay, when you're in crisis, obviously this is when you need severe medical help, when you are admitted to hospital, when you are getting the wonderful medical system working for us that we have here. I can say there's a lot of us sitting in this yellow zone. There's something just isn't quite right. And I'd love to see more of us sitting in that thriving zone. And I feel like with Fitgenes, once you've had your test done and you get those reports, just by making simple changes to either your lifestyle or your diet, we might be able to tilt that back into the green a little bit more.
The way I see it, it's a roadmap of how you can get out of crisis and struggling and walk your way into thriving.
So this is where we talk about epigenetics and nutrogenomics, things that we can do in our day-to-day lives that are going to help our perhaps our how can I say, our not so productive genes.
The ones that need a little bit of help and support. This is really what it's about. So we can use our lifestyle choices, and we can definitely use our nutrition and what we're choosing to put inside our body to upregulate or downregulate gene expression. So we can really influence and write our own health story. That is the ultimate message.
And look, that is the ultimate plan for the Aging Project, to arm you with the knowledge, the skills, and perhaps the interest to deep dive into these topics a little bit more. You know, we've talked a lot about preventative imaging, which gives us that overall idea of what's happening inside our body right this very minute, and a baseline. We've got that genetic testing, which we're doing now, which is fabulous. We've spoken a lot about blood testing and where we need to sit in those categories of not just being average, but being optimal in our blood test results. And of course, we do speak a lot about lifestyle and nutrition. With these four things all working together within the Aging Project, we can take such better care of ourselves and our families and our wellness and longevity. So the Fitgenes program is just another piece to fit out that puzzle and hopefully give us a lot more answers and a lot more direction in where we can head on our own health and wellness journey. Lindsay, this is exciting times for us.
I love it.
We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and that it answered a few more of your questions and perhaps helped you understand why DNA testing is such a powerful tool for your own individual health, because your genes truly are the foundation of your health. If you're ready to begin your DNA discovery, visit theagingproject.com and sign up for our free DNA webinar. It is the perfect place to start. Thank you so much for listening. Stay well, and I'll talk to you soon.